Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. Husker All-American Lauren Stivrins announced today that she is coming back for another year with the Big Red. The three-time All-American middle blocker is taking advantage of the NCAA rule, allowing athletes another year because of COVID. Stivrins battled a back injury during the NCAA tournament in April and has been slow during the summer. Husker Volleyball is having their media day tomorrow. A lot more will come out about this there. Husker Football held another practice today. Head coach Scott Frost met with the media following the workout and talked about trying to mix in work for the veterans and not losing the younger players with all the terminology.
Yeah, for sure. We're pushing the young guys pretty hard, and we're pretty tough on them. That's demanding to know everything that they need to know as fast as we're trying to get them to know it. So there's a little bit of separation between the guys that have been there, done that, and the guys that are learning it for the first time. But we're going to keep repping them. The more reps those guys get, the faster they'll be able to catch up.
We'll have more of what the coach said later this hour. Nebraska has another academic All-American to the rolls. Abigail Napton, the most decorated diver in Husker history, was named today as first-team academic All-American. Napton becomes the 343rd academic All-American in school history, by far the most in the country. Now to the Olympics. The U.S. women's volleyball squad swept Serbia last night to earn a berth in the gold medal match. They will tango with Brazil on Saturday. The U.S. women's basketball squad defeated Serbia 79-59. They'll play for yet another gold medal on Saturday against Japan. The men's basketball team will play France tonight at 9:30 for the gold. France was the team that defeated the United States earlier in the tournament. And tomorrow morning, the U.S. baseball squad will face Japan in the gold medal game. The U.S. on the medal count has opened up their lead. They now have 98 medals compared to China's 79. China, though, still has the most golds with 36. Checking the big league scoreboard, it's gone final at Wrigley in the Battle of Chicago. The White Sox, with 4 in the top of the 10th, beat the Cubs 8-6. Just getting underway. Tampa Bay in Baltimore to play the Orioles. The Mets and Phillies are playing in Philadelphia. The Mariners in New York to face the Yankees. The Red Sox up in Toronto to battle the Blue Jays. The Tigers in Cleveland to take on the Indians. The Pirates in Cincinnati to continue their series with the Reds. Nationals at the Braves. Later tonight, the Royals in St. Louis to face the Cardinals. The Twins in Houston to tango with the Astros, the Giants, and Brewers. A battle of first-place teams in Milwaukee. The Marlins and Rockies will play in Denver. Texas on the road in Oakland to take on the Athletics. The Angels and Dodgers battle in the series in Los Angeles. It's the Diamondbacks and Padres playing in San Diego. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me, Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then, I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch when we played Husker Volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for the final show of the week here on Sports Nightly. You have all made it to another summertime weekend. Get out and have some fun this weekend. Only a couple left before the college football season gets cranked up. We're starting with volleyball tonight. Everybody's been waiting for Lauren Stivrins to say yay or nay. It was a yay earlier today. Quote from John Cook put out this afternoon. Jessica, our staff is so happy Lauren is coming back for her 6th year. She's so much fun to coach, someone you want in the gym, and this is awesome news for our program. We'll all need to be patient as Lauren works back into volleyball shape. We'll make sure we do not rush her and look forward to the day she can be out there on the court. So she's back, not ready to start playing yet, but certainly working her way back from some back problems she had in April.
Has there ever been a more epic announcement, a return video than Lauren's? It just viral already, in 4 hours. It's got 447 retweets, over 3,000 likes. I mean, people were excited and waiting for this news. I was on the Big Red Blitz when Tyler Hildebrand said that she was coming back, but it wasn't, certain yet. But just the amount of fans that were so excited on that day, and had to take a step back and wait, because again, it's a slow process coming back, and she has such a huge career, potentially moving forward, working with, playing for Team USA. So, wanted to make sure she was right. And so, the news officially out today, and boy, Husker Nation is pumped.
They're excited. They're going to have to wait, I think. My gut tells me she's not ready to play and won't be ready to play when they open the season here in just a couple of weeks. And that's what the John Cook quote in that release kind of leads me to believe that. Again, we'll learn more tomorrow with Media Day when the coach is in front of the media, and we'll have to answer some more of those questions. And she's going to be there, too. I don't know how much she's going to want to talk tomorrow, but it is great news with her and Lexi both coming back. This is a team that finished 6th last year in the final poll. They're going to be a preseason top 5 team. They will be a team that can challenge for a national championship. And they get it going in just a couple of weeks. They start practice in a few days. The red-white scrimmage will be 2 weeks from tomorrow night at the Devaney Center. But you're right, we've kind of waited. Then there kept kind of leaks coming out, and they're like, oh, no, we've got to pull that back. You mentioned Tyler made the comment. John Cook was quoted in a volleyball magazine saying she was coming back. But this is her story to tell. This is her moment to come up and say yay or nay on this whole thing.
And announcing it on her podcast, which is cool for her as well. But again, just making sure that she's going about it the right way with her body, and not, making sure that she was good to go. Could she come back? But, when we had Lexi on the show back on July 1st, and she talked about wanting to play in front of these fans, that last year just wasn't right, and so one more experience of playing in front of, that packed house in Devaney, I imagine that was a big part of her reason, too, is going out like you should, with the senior season in front of those fans.
So happy for her. There it was. People have been asking. We've been getting nightly texts about any word yet on Lauren. There you go. There's the official word from her today, with Media Day tomorrow, the first practice within 48 hours for Husker volleyball as they get closer to moving into their season. They're going to open up with a bang. We had Lauren Cook on the other night talking about all those matches they're going to play those first couple of weekends, were 2 matches on Friday, match on Saturdays. They'll get 3 matches in the first weekend, same kind of deal the next weekend as well. So there'll be some midday volleyball at the Devaney Center coming up in a few Fridays, and that'll always be fun. Husker football, the head coach talked for the first time today. We're going to get into some clips from him a little bit later on. You always try to read what's his mood like. I couldn't tell whether he was just tired, whether did they not have a good practice. He didn't seem to be in the best of moods today. But, again, I don't know if we should read too much into that.
Yeah, maybe just intense. You never know. But I kind of, just seeing what the chat was saying as well, they said the same thing. They just seemed intense a little bit. But, yeah, you never know how. Maybe it wasn't a good practice. Maybe it was just, hot, and he's just trying to get it over with. I don't know.
How about this? That was practice 7 already. They get 25 before you can play. So they're 7 through the 25. I mean, by this time next week, they're going to be past the midway point of camp. That's how quickly it goes.
Yeah, and just getting that jump on things, because everybody is, on social media, you're seeing all the other college teams starting today. And so already a weekend for Nebraska. But I was actually down at the training table today shooting for another piece, and it just seems, again, just the vibes are really great. Just upbeat, and seem to be really enjoying being around each other. A lot of the football players were in there after practice, but, again, seems to be good vibes around this team.
There does, and and you've gotten that throughout the week from the other coaches talking, and the handful of players that have been made available through us after practices began. There just seems to be a comfort level with what they have, and maybe that's not the right word, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of tension. There seems to be a lot of, we're all kind of rowing the boat in the same direction. I hate stealing PJ Fleck's term, but they just all seem to be on the same page. Again, and we'll probably get lit up on this on the text line. That doesn't necessarily equate to wins on Saturdays. I get that. I understand that. But I think that's better than you feel like that they're not kind of going in the same direction.
Yeah, you'd much rather feel like you got good vibes. You got, they're all on the same page. We've heard it from the leaders over and over again, and we're going to continue to probably say this for 3 more weeks until we kick this thing off. But they are, repeatedly saying that it's a different feel than it has been in years past. So, while we're saying the vibes are good, the players are saying it themselves. It's coming straight from, the horses' mouths that it's a different feel out there.
Carla on our text line said, good evening. I love our national championships in multiple sports. The benchmark I think rises above them all is when we lead by far in the academic All-American category. It speaks volumes. You're absolutely right, Carla. It's a thing that Nebraska certainly takes great pride in when you have about a 60-person lead in the number of academic All-Americans that you put out. And congrats and good for Abigail Napton. She is just such a star that a lot of our fans don't know much about. She came really close to making our U.S. Olympic team in the dives in both the platform and the springboard. And so happy for her. She's an Omaha product. She grew up in the Omaha area, so to have another academic All-American from the state of Nebraska is a pretty cool thing. I tell this story. I've told this story a few times, Jessica, that Michigan State, one of their broadcasters, every time I see him, he says, Greg, the most impressive thing that I take from Nebraska when we come down here to play football is, he goes, we come in that West Stadium lobby. And he said, you kind of walk in there thinking you're going to see national championship trophies. And he said, no, what you see is this big board with the number of academic All-Americans in Nebraska. He goes, that's so impressive. And I go, well, thank you. We're proud of it. And it is an impressive thing. And that's why it's inside Memorial Stadium, too, on the facade. They put up how many academic All-Americans we have right next to the sellout streak. It is a source of pride, and it goes way beyond football because all sports contribute to that. It
is super impressive. I mean, as I was kind of diving in and started studying the roster, it seems like almost every guy you click on it, it's like a scholar athlete or, like you said, a academic, some sort of, a honor or award for these players, and it's across all sports, and it's, the academic staff here does a fantastic job. I mean, I just did an interview with Isaiah Roby, who is gone playing with the NBA, and how they have stayed with him, helping him to graduate, which was very, very important to him, and that's not everywhere. So a lot of that is the academic staff, and I also think the way that the facilities are built here, where it's kind of all together down there, and you kind of have to pass through, when you're going to the training table, you have to pass through.
Walk all through.
Yeah, to see those academic guys and, hey, how's it going? And so, just the camaraderie between the academic advisors and the players, because they're all intertwined down there. So.
The portraits of all the academic All-Americans are on the wall as you walk to go eat. For all the student athletes, they walk by these portraits that are amazing to see, and you see the men and women who have come before who rised up to the academic All-American label. So, Carl, I'm glad you picked up on that. That's a big thing around here, and we certainly love to toast that. All right, if you have some other thoughts, here are the numbers: 402-413-2400, 402-413-2400. We're also streaming on our YouTube channel. There's a chat room there. If you want to jump in there and converse with fellow Husker fans, you can certainly do that as well. When we come back, we'll hear what the head coach had to say today after practice number 7. We'll let you gauge what his mood was like. We'll do that next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. The Ram is where fine form meets rugged function, designed to be durable, functional, and stylish, giving you the dependability you need for all your work projects and the luxury you deserve to get around for everyday driving. With a full lineup of all new 1500, 2500, and 3500 Rams, we're sure to have one that fits your needs. Shop our full lineup online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com or stop out and see us for a test drive in Blair.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Welcome back, Sports Nightly here on a Friday night. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you. Thanks for being with us tonight. We're going to entertain you for the next couple of hours and start right now with some comments from the head football coach who met with the media for the first time since practice began. He had the press conference last Thursday. That was before practice one. Now 7 practices in the books, including the last 2 with pads on. We'll start with the quarterbacks. How about the battle to back up Adrian, the young quarterbacks, Heinrich Harburg and Logan Smothers? The coach was asked about how they have been doing and did they pick up where they left off in spring.
Yeah, we're kind of approaching fall camp this year. We always do, but a little different is we want to throw everything at them quick. I want to get that first unit available to run anything that we need to run this year early on, and then we'll start scaling it back and dialing it a little more. So we're throwing a lot at those guys, particularly Harburg. But, yeah, they picked up right where they left off in spring. Both of them are doing really good things.
Good to hear. Not ready to name who the backup is yet, and it's only practice 7. They've got time to be able to do that. Then they quickly weaved into the running back spot, and Marquise Stepp has certainly been a name we've talked a lot about in the offseason, the USC transfer who only got 2 practices into the spring and then was sat down after that. The coach was asked about what have you seen from Stepp in the first week?
I've been pleasantly surprised. Yeah, asked about surprises with his Marquise Stepp's progress. Weren't sure he was going to be 100% coming into camp. I still don't think he's quite 100%, but he's stacked some pretty good practices together. Is farther along with knowing the scheme and everything that I expected him to be. I've been really happy with his performance in the first 2 practices.
That's always a great thing for a coaching staff when you have a guy that is going to be battling for a running back and thought might have to bring him along slowly, and you don't have to as much. But I had heard that the running backs not only were okay, they were expecting a competition, during the fall camp, but they were competing even in the weight room this summer.
Yeah.
They were really kind of taking care of their business in the weight room and doing the things that they needed to in the summer leading up to fall camp.
I'm encouraged that it's got to be a sign, right, that he's gotten himself ready to compete and not really have to sit out some things or be on a pitch count, as they like to say. That speaks to his work ethic, that he wanted to be ready to go when practice began. It looks like he is. He's certainly in the midst of the battle for this. I like his look. He's the most experienced guy in the room. He's played Division I football, where nobody else really has played much Division I football. We weave from him to Gabe Ervin, who a lot of people like a lot, including the coaches. Here's the head coach talking about his true freshman from Georgia.
Yeah, I think Gabe's ready. And one thing I'll say about him is he came in as an adult. He was very mature in his approach to everything when he came in. That's usually the telltale mark if they're going to be ready to play early on. He's done a good job learning it. He competes, and he'll definitely be in the mix at that spot.
Coach was followed up. The question to him, Jessica, was about what about picking up a pass rush, a blitzer? How's he doing in pass protection? Because it's one thing to get the football and run and read the holes and do that type of thing. But the other part of it is, can you pass block? Here was the coach's response.
Yeah, I think the running backs in general have been doing a good job in pass pro. And that's a tough assignment. First thing is knowing who your guys are, making sure you're disciplined with your eyes. But part of it, too, is just being willing to stick your nose in and get the job done. We got some bigger backs now that are more capable of that, and I've been pleased with all their jobs with pass protection.
That stuck out to you when you saw practice the other day, how big that group is.
Yeah, I said that from even in the cave shoot, and I saw them when they were just kind of standing around. They're big, but also moving well. You know, when we were just standing out there for the 30 minutes that we were out there, that they were especially Gabe and Sevion and Marquise. They're able to move even though they're big, so that's always a positive too. But
I think those are the three.
I do too. I really do.
With Yant having a role.
Yep.
Short yardage roll, goal line for Yant, fourth quarter if you have a lead. I think those are the three, with Yant being number 4. Now, that could change as we make our way through camp. Speaking of size, there's a lot more size in the wide receiver room for Nebraska as well. The coach was asked about the size and how big a group can you realistically play at that spot. Here's his response.
I feel good about the receiver group. There's a lot of competition there to get in, the top 6. I imagine 6 are going to play for the most part. A couple other guys might sprinkle in, but it's going to be 6, and we're still trying to figure out who those guys are exactly. But there's a lot of guys that I think we can rely on to go in the game right now and make plays.
You don't think, Jessica, about as much about rotating wide receivers, but they run a lot. I mean, a lot of times they're running 30, 40 yards, and if you're in a hurry-up offense, you've got to get guys in and out. They can't last that long. You got to rotate that room.
Yeah, I mean, most good offenses have, you look at the, stats. There's 3 and 4 receivers that are catching a lot of passes, that are hauling in a lot of touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, especially the way that, what they're trying to do, definitely good that they've got, the 5, 6 guys we keep hearing about. But that's a battle, too, and which is always good.
So we've learned tonight, probably 3 running backs, 6 wide receivers. That's kind of what you're looking at for guys that will play. And obviously injuries can dictate who might move up into that group, but as you move along. All right, the coach was asked about, what about scrimmages? When are you going to have kind of a big scrimmage coming their way? And here's what his response to that question was.
We're going to have one scrimmage 2 days from now. I don't think that'll be our major scrimmage of the fall. We'll probably have that one be a little shorter, have one probably the next week that's a little longer, and then turn our attention to first game.
Usually a lot is learned by the coaches with the scrimmage. We won't hear again from coaches until Tuesday. They have Monday off after that scrimmage, but there'll be a lot of questions about that scrimmage from the media on Tuesday. All right, special teams. Boy, that's the other area that we all realize as Husker fans, that's got to be better than it has been in the past. They have emphasized it. They put a big deal of emphasis on it in the spring. The coach was asked for an update. How has that looked during the first week?
Just 2 days ago, we were doing individual drills on special teams, and I think Coach Dawson, who's been doing an unbelievable job with that, said we got 138 reps of individual technique in a 10-minute period on special teams. And the guys have bought into it. Man, they're working hard in those drills. We can't find any loafs at all, people taking a play off on those drills. The guys know how important that is, and that could be a little difference for us in several games. So I see great leadership by Coach Dawson right now, and great effort and attention to detail by our team.
I can hear the folks clapping. Yes, please be true.
I mean, it also, again, just going back to the depth that they've been able to build at all these positions, just having talent and the athleticism to be able to put a lot of guys, you know, some talented athletic guys on those special teams as well is big.
Had a former player who was at practice the other day tell me, they go, Greg, there's too many good athletes on this team for special teams not to be better. I mean, because you can't start them all on offense or defense. So for them to get on the field, it's going to be special teams. He says there's just no reason why this team can't be good at special teams moving into the year.
And where freshmen can get on there on the field. So
absolutely. You can't crack it too deep. That's how you can make sure you're on the travel roster and on that plane going to Champaign here in just a couple of weeks. All right, punter, kickoff specialist. Has there been determination? Has there been starters picked out in those two areas? Here's the coach.
Yeah, I would say punter's up for grabs and kickoff specials up for grabs. You know, feel really good about Connor with one more year as our field goal kicker. But who's going to kick off, I'm not sure yet, and it could be one of three guys.
There you go. Still no determination made on that. And again, a scrimmage could help to determine some of that as well. The other news was a non-player related news that came out today. Jessica, and the folks probably have heard some about this afternoon if they've been following the program or jumping on social media, and that there is going to be a change for the director of football operations for Nebraska football. Jared Lambrick, who was with Scott, a high school buddy of Scott's back in Wood River when Scott got the job here, he hired Jared to come kind of run the football office. He is going to leave the program here, and the coach was asked about that change with his football director of operations.
Jared is going to move on. Jared and I have been friends since 1989, so we figured it was 32 years. He's responsible for a lot of the progress that we made around here, getting things done. One of my best friends in the world and was infinitely valuable to us around here. I'm going to miss him, but he had another business opportunity that he wanted to go try. He loves these players dearly, too, and the guys know that. And I think part of the reason he's leaving is looking for opportunity to be able to help them in a different way. So we'll miss Jared. Those are some big shoes to fill, but feel good about the guys we have doing it.
So there you go. There was the news of the day. I guess only in Nebraska is that really big news. People leave, coaches leave, director of ops leave. Director of ops, they don't coach, they don't recruit. I mean, they do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, but it got a lot of headlines today.
Yeah, you heard him talking about how much he meant to him and one of his best friends and how important he was to establishing what this staff has done here and all the things he's done positive for this program. But, yeah, wants to pursue other opportunities, but that's exciting media, excited media and fans wanting to know about anything and everything.
That's right. Only in Nebraska. And we said that about, Carol Frost being at practice. Only in Nebraska does the mom of the head coach show up at practice. Probably only in Nebraska does the director of football ops leaving cause as many headlines as it has this afternoon. But, hey, that's kind of the beauty and the beast of this program. There's so much attention on Husker football. You love that. You love the passion. But, man, they dig down into the minutia.
It's like every little detail is a big thing. That's awesome. I think that's really cool that they care so much about every little thing that they want to know all the ins and outs of what's going on within this program.
Isn't it crazy? Let's go to the phones. By the way, the numbers, if you want to join us, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Let's go to Omaha. Patrick, you are up next on Sports Island. Good evening.
Yeah, Greg, I got a couple things I want to ask you about. One, what do you think maybe their final record is going to be? I look at the schedule and I see 5-6 wins, and the other thing is I know it's great that the players and coaches are, all talking positivity, everybody's getting together. It's just my attitude is kind of, prove it to me. It's all great, and I'm glad they're a team and they're working for the same goal and everything, but I don't know, kind of seems sort of like the same old, but I'm just going to prove it to me.
Yeah, I get that, but what would you want them to say?
Well, true, I get it. I mean, you don't want a coach to come out and say, I think we're going to lose every single game. But, I mean, I liked Frost's attitude at the Big Ten media thing where it wasn't, bravado and everything. But I don't know. I feel like I've been burned so much.
No, and I get that, Patrick. And I'm not trying to pick on you because I've heard that a lot from people. They're like, "Well, I'm tired of hearing them talk." Well, I mean, they're getting asked questions. They got to answer them. They got to try to be honest with what they see and what they're doing on the practice field. But I mean, and I totally get it. It's time for the rubber to meet the road and win some games. That's what we all want. But I don't want them to come out here and lie to the media. I don't want them to come out and make stuff up. I think they're all talking honestly and from the heart. And I hope people at least cut them some slack that they're at least answering questions honestly about how they think things are going.
And nobody wants to prove it more than the players and coaches inside that building.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as a win total, Patrick, I don't know. I mean, what's Vegas say? 6? I mean, I think it's really important for this team to get to postseason play and get into a bowl game. I think that would be probably a good step forward for this program.
I think it'd be huge. I'd love to see it. It's been far too long.
No doubt. All right. Hey, thanks, Patrick. And I didn't mean to pick on Patrick, but we've heard that from a lot of people. I'm tired of hearing him talk. Well, the media's asking questions. What are they supposed to do? Not answer? And would you just prefer they don't even hold press conferences? I don't think our fan base wants that. I think you want to hear from them.
And there's a lot of media availability here, so there's a lot of opportunities for these guys to talk. But we've talked a lot about it. There is a different belief. There's a different feel, but nobody knows that they've got to go and wants to win more than these players.
Sure.
And they've talked about it. Like, a lot of them came back to go win. And so, and Scott has said it, we're saying the right things, but we have to prove it on Saturdays. So
right. They're not out there saying we're going to win the West, we're going to play for a Big Ten title, we're going to win 9 games. They're not saying any of that. They've really given no bulletin board material to this point in time on the season at all. But I get what Patrick's saying, too, because Husker fans they're ready for this team, this program, to win again. I totally get it. But
we got to wait 3 more weeks for us to get there.
And it will be here. All right, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to dot us up with a comment or question. We've got more Sports Nightly coming up.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. Sports Nightly, we just heard from the head coach after today's practice, his thoughts after week one of fall camp for the Big Red. On our text line, I really like our attitude of our coaches and players. I definitely see 7 to 9 wins this year. Go Big Red. I was on a national show the other day, and they were saying, well, what's the high ceiling part? I go, well, why couldn't Nebraska not be Indiana from last year, where everything kind of went their way, or Northwestern from last year, where the ball bounced their way and they won all the close games and all that type thing? Not saying that's going to happen, but why couldn't it? Why couldn't it be Nebraska's turn to have some of that happening? What's on the YouTube chat room? Anybody having fun there?
Logan had a comment. I felt like Frost had the intensity of a coach who knows he has a good team, more focused than agitated.
Okay.
But I also, too, I was thinking about this, just, you know, you're a weekend, you've got a lot of competition battles, you got a huge game out of week one. You don't want to reveal very much, but you also probably don't know a lot to convey to the media. You're not going to say, hey, this guy is looking really good, when you still think this second guy might come on and have a good second week.
Yeah.
You know, there's just not a lot that you can really say after just 7 days that you want out for public knowledge.
I think it went 9.5 minutes. I thought he got a little warmer as it went on. I thought early on his answers were really quick and short, but I thought he started to elaborate a little bit. But you're right. Also, you don't want to overpraise your team because of what the caller, Patrick, the last segment, they're tired of hearing too much praise. You don't want to do that, but you also don't want to downgrade your team in front of the media.
And you don't want to talk about certain players up. You know, when there's so many battles going on, and you know, even on the offensive line, Greg Austin has said nobody's earned their spot yet. Everybody has to come in and earn it. There's no complacency around here. So while you think you've got the starting lineup figured out, there's a lot of position battles going on, and you don't want to reveal too much. And whether that be internally, that could be, you know, part of it, or even externally, so people don't know. Illinois doesn't know who your number one running back is.
Exactly right. Yeah. On our text line, who's going to have the most receiving yards? I will go with Samore. I just think, and that may be a cop-out because he's getting the most headlines, but I think he's probably our best wide receiver, so I'll go him. Also, can you cover the D-line, front seven? We spent a lot of time last night on the defensive line. We had Tony Tuioti on. We heard from Ty Robinson. The question is, do you think that they're going to rotate those guys? Absolutely, they're going to rotate those guys. And Tony kind of said that last night. I think Ty Robinson even told you we got a lot of depth. We get tired. We get out. We're somebody with a fresh body to come in there and battle.
Yeah, the defensive line is, I mean, we talked a lot about it last night, which it's, archived on our site on YouTube. You can go back and watch it and hear from Ty and Coach Tuioti. But there's a lot of depth there. It's been not just the quality of depth, but the quantity and quality of depth that they have on the D-line. And, You want to keep them fresh. You don't want to play the same 3-4 guys the entire game. You want to, as Tony Tuioti has said, like a hockey line change. You want to keep them running in and out, keep them fresh, and be able to continue to get pressure on the quarterback.
We were throwing numbers out for running backs and wide receivers. I think the perfect number there is 6.
Yeah.
Because you just rotate a line at a time. Now, I think we're deeper than 6, honestly. I think we have more bodies than that. The continuation of that text was, what about Nash Hutmacher? Will he play? I don't know that he's in that 6 yet, but I think they like him a lot. So, yeah, don't give up on Nash, but there's just some really talented guys in that room. Another text, my biggest concern, honestly, is the backup quarterback situation. That's fair because there's just, with Heinrich and Logan, they're 2 guys that have not played at this level of football. So they are totally green, totally unproven. So, 1, you hope Adrian stays healthy, and 2, you hope you have some games early in the year, Jessica, where you get a nice lead and you can put him in the game and get him some experience.
I think that's where you do have a luxury of a quarterback like Adrian that's been around and is a leader and is going to help those guys along as well. And he was talking to me about that he didn't really have that as much when he was a younger guy, so really trying to help them along because he knows that eventually those guys are going to have to play. And it's also those guys that are throwing the ball to the wide receivers and the scout team, and it takes a whole quarterback room to have a team ready to play on Saturdays. So he knows the importance of having those guys ready, and he's doing his part to lead those guys as well.
Steve from Woodcliff Lake. Best news I've heard is the size of the offense and defensive lines. We've been getting pushed around too long. I agree with you, Steve. I thought we saw signs last year, even in the opener with Ohio State, where I thought we were standing up really well with the Buckeyes, and they obviously went and played for the national title. I thought we held up pretty well on both lines against them, and then I thought even in the Iowa game, it was much more of a battle going forward with the Hawkeyes last year, and they certainly have the reputation of having great offensive lines. Doug in Norfolk, I think since we had, 7 to 9 guys return to be the super seniors. That's a great sign. I think it's 6. I think there were 6 that came back. But you're right, Doug, and those guys are all going to have big roles, including a guy like JoJo Doman's going to have a big role on this team.
I asked him yesterday for a feature interview that I'm working on, just, why do you believe? And he said, because of those guys. We all came back. We all believe. And, you have to – some of these younger guys that are coming in, they're following suit. So, once you start kind of changing the mentality and the belief, that's when the tide starts to turn. And so, JoJo is very, very just set on making sure that stays where it needs to, that mindset, that mentality, that belief in this football team.
Confidence is such a big deal in all sports. I really believe in football it's huge because you don't get many opportunities. It's not a basketball team that's going to play 35 games. It's not a baseball team that's going to play 56 games. It's 12. So you've got to try to get momentum. That's why I've been saying that Illinois game is so big to get some momentum going for this team and this program. We'll come back. I know we got more in the chat room. We got the text flying in. If you want to be a part of this, call or text 402-413-2400. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Another segment of Hour 1 next.
Experience the highest levels of luxury at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. Our dedicated sales team is ready to guide you to your perfect vehicle. With a lineup of unique crossovers and SUVs, Lincoln offers insightful technologies, connectivity, and interior amenities, while you experience the highest sales satisfaction among all luxury brands. Visit Woodhouse Lincoln at 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at facebook.com/Huskers and twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
We're back, Sports Nightly, final segment of hour number 1 here on a Friday night. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. If you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text on our text line. What about Miles Farmer, Braxton Clark? Both those guys coming off injuries last year in that secondary. They're both out there. I watched them a little bit the other day. Looks like they're doing pretty well. I would say Miles probably a little bit further along than Braxton. Braxton's having to compete now with Tyreek Johnson, the 5-star transfer from Ohio State. But both, I think, are going to have active roles on this team. Let's go to the phone. Let's go up to Minnesota. Tim, you're up next on Sports Nightly. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, I want to maybe clarify a question that I had texted. I didn't quite give the right angle, and that's about the receivers. When we talked about the running backs a while ago, I had even called in to ask more about the game-breaking speed. And one thing I'd maybe add to that is some other skills that you think of, not just blazing speed, but those little moves, abilities to do cutbacks and everything like that. So I'm kind of wondering, especially about the running back, is not just blazing speed, but those, I don't know, you might even call Barry Sanders like moves, Calvin, or even I watched an interview last night about Calvin Johnson in the Hall of Fame, a little bit about that. So who would you say among the running backs have that, especially game break? I know a few things were mentioned, maybe like Ramir and maybe Savion. I think one guy was described as having kind of a twitch. So you think of that quickness. I guess another question that comes to mind, and I'll finish with this, is how much do we expect to maybe see the I formation this year? And that would be it.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it, Tim. I don't think we'll see much I think speed, you mentioned Ramir Johnson, probably the fastest of the backs. Probably the next guy would be Savion. I think he's the guy that's got great speed and movability. Gabe and Marquise are probably more thumpers, I would call them. Good run between the tackles, which in this offense, that's a key because you want those quick hitters up the middle. But I would say Savion probably is one of the fastest guys in that backfield.
Didn't Lubick say Ramir's having his best camp?
He did.
Yep.
Which is good. Ramir is a young guy that's, I think, really, really good speed, but just has not been able to kind of get it all put together. And so I wouldn't give up on him. Anything in the chat room we need to address while we're locking in another caller here?
Yeah, talking about the points per game need to be higher.
Oh, yeah. It was bad. Last year was way off. And, again, it was a small sample size with only 8 games. And I think Matt Lubick talked about that the other day. Our points per possession weren't great. I think we were one of the lowest scoring teams in Division I football. So, absolutely, that's got to be better than it was in 2020.
Yeah, that's from Andy Harris, who said points per game has to be higher this year. The defense has the talent to make some things happen.
Totally agree. Well observed. Stay in Lincoln. Talk to John. Good evening, John. You're up next.
Hi, Jessica. Welcome aboard. You do a great job, so it's glad to have you.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
You bet. Well, just a couple comments. I know a while back, I forget who we were playing, but Coach Frost made the mention that we needed to get bigger and more physical, and I feel like he's addressed that with the offensive linemen that he's brought in. And just wanted to hear what you guys thought on that. And then, Greg, I want to ask you something. I know everybody thinks that we need to be quiet or not talk. In your opinion, has Coach Frost and this staff underachieved up to this point, or have we, or was it when Coach Riley left, was it that bad that it was just going to take some time to get better at what we're doing? So I'm going to hang up. Jessica, welcome aboard, and go Big Red.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's, you can't, I would say probably Scott Frost would even say that they've underachieved since they got here now. I think there was a hole to dig out of. I also will say this too, John. He's been here 3 years. We've had bad luck. And Scott's first game as head coach. We're lining up to play Akron. The place is jumping. It's live. We have a thunderstorm. Cancels the game. We don't get to play it. And so you don't get a chance to get your season off to a good start. So then we have to open with Colorado, who had played a game. We hadn't played a game. We made some early turnovers and didn't win that game. So I think that was kind of bad luck. And then COVID for year 3 totally throws it off. So I don't know that we have a real fair evaluation of what this staff does because of a couple of weird things that have happened.
I do think it appears to be that this is the best team as far as depth goes and talent that he's had here. But as far as the offensive line goes, yes, that's been a huge talking point, big bright spot that a lot of the players and coaches have talked about. And when Scott Frost was asked about one of the positions that he was most excited for going into the season, he said the offensive line, that they've recruited really well there and that they've got not only, talent, but depth. And when we were out there talking to Brendan, and that's the size of that looks like an offense or an NFL offensive line as far as size goes. So, and we talked about it last night. Just they know what the tradition of offensive line, how it goes here. That Nebraska is known for great offensive line play, and they want to hold up to that standard. And again, but that's been a huge bright spot, a big talking point for this team throughout fall camp.
John, it was after the Iowa game, I think after year 1 for Scott, when he just said, I'm ashamed to say this, but they were bigger and stronger than we were. We've got to match that, and that's been a big emphasis in recruiting along both the offense and defensive lines, is to get bigger. And that was my impression leaving spring ball. We look like a legitimate Big Ten team walking off the field back on May the 1st. And I think people will see that when they watch this team line up again this year. And they love some of the young kids. Henry Lutovsky is getting a lot of love in camp, true freshman from Iowa. I don't know that he cracks it too deep. He might. I think he'll play some games this year. I think they'd love to get him in some games, take advantage of that 4-game rule where you can play up to 4 and keep your red shirt. So absolutely, I think the line, particularly on the offensive side, has gotten so much bigger than what Scott Frost inherited when he got here.
And for a lot of those guys that were kind of young last year, getting another belt, another year under their belt, for the offensive line, it's hard to play that position when you're young.
Turner Corcoran's one of those guys, and Bryce Benhart at the right tackle was a redshirt freshman last year. You got something in the chat room we need to hit?
Oh, nope. I was
all right.
Going to let you go with text.
Mark on our text line, I sense an urgency to reverse the special teams fiasco and put consistent pressure on the other quarterback. That would be a game changer. Absolutely. Everybody's looking for pass rushers, but you got to clean up the special teams. And it has been a huge point of emphasis in the spring, and it has been here in the August camp as well. Guys, what do you think the main interception leader on defense is going to be? It's got to be Cam Taylor Britt, right? It's got to be. Got to be him. I can see Cam getting 4 or 5 this year. I think teams will try to throw away from him. I just don't think that they're going to want any part of throwing his direction this year. So that means Quentin Newsome, Tyreek Johnson, whoever the other corner is going to be, better be ready, because I think they're going to. Cam has gotten himself to an NFL corner, so I think they're going to have to try to look away.
And he just looks like he's, the dude out there, and he's the way he's carried himself on the field, off the field, he's the dude. And we talked about he could potentially be the best player on this football team, and it would be huge if he could, turn some heads and get drafted in the NFL, and that always bodes well for recruiting when you got guys going to the league.
Is this Friday night? I mean, my goodness,
I know,
we've just been flooded.
We've got to get to some of these this chat on the YouTube chat as well in the next hour.
We'll do it on the other side, and our Friday 5, too.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions and drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Shop Woodhouse Ford first. With 3 convenient locations, we offer a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Our no-pressure sales team is eager to help you find the perfect vehicle. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in person or online at woodhouseford.com. Choose your experience and start your car buying journey today at Woodhouse Ford in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. Husker All-American Lauren Stivrins announced today that she is coming back for another year with the Big Red. The three-time All-American middle blocker is taking advantage of the NCAA rule, allowing athletes another year because of COVID. Stivrins battled a back injury during the NCAA tournament back in April and has been slow during the summer. Husker Volleyball is set to have their media day tomorrow, with practices starting on Sunday. Husker Football held another practice today. Afterwards, head coach Scott Frost met with the media following that practice and talked about trying to mix in work for the veterans while not going way over the heads of their younger players.
Yeah, for sure. We're pushing the young guys pretty hard, and we're pretty tough on them. That's demanding to know everything that they need to know as fast as we're trying to get them to know it. So there's a little bit of separation between the guys that have been there, done that, and the guys that are learning it for the first time. But we're going to keep repping them. The more reps those guys get, the faster they'll be able to catch up.
Huskers will practice again Saturday and Sunday, take Monday off. Our next media availability with some of the coaches will be on Tuesday. Nebraska has another academic All-American to add to the rolls. Abigail Napton, the most decorated diver in Husker history, was named today as a first-team academic All-American. Napton becomes the 343rd academic All-American in Nebraska school history. That's tops in the country. Now to the Olympics. The U.S. women's volleyball squad swept Serbia last night to earn a berth in the gold medal match. The U.S. will tangle with Brazil on Saturday. The U.S. women's basketball team blasted Serbia 79-59. They'll play for yet another gold medal on Saturday against the host country, Japan. The men's basketball team will play France tonight at 9:30 for the gold. France defeated the United States earlier in the tournament. Tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m., the U.S. baseball squad will take on the Japanese in the gold medal game. The U.S. has opened up their lead in the medal count. They now have 98 compared to China's 79. China, though, still has the most golds with 36. Checking the Major League Baseball scoreboard. Battle of Chicago. The White Sox win in 10 over the Cubs, 8-6. Other games in progress. It is the Orioles 3, the Rays 2 in the third. The Mets and Phillies knotted at 1 in the third inning. No score in the fourth at Yankee Stadium as New York is hosting the Mariners. Also no score in Toronto. The Blue Jays and Red Sox in the top of the fourth. It's 4-0. The Indians over the Tigers in the third. 9-0. The Reds over the Pirates in the second inning. The Braves lead the Nationals 2-0 in the third. Game's about to get underway. Kansas City and St. Louis to battle the Cardinals. Twins and Astros in Houston. Giants and Brewers a battle of first-place teams in Milwaukee. Marlins and Rockies in Denver. Rangers out in Oakland later tonight. Angels and Dodgers will play at Chavez Ravine late tonight. And the Diamondbacks and Padres also will play just past 9 o'clock. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me, Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker Volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back. Final hour of the night, final hour of the week of Sports Nightly to launch you into another summer weekend. Going to be hot around the state. Be careful if you're outside over the weekend, if you're camping, boating, whatever you may be doing, doing some yard work, all those type of fun things. Husker Volleyball will have media day tomorrow. They are about ready to start their practice sessions as they get geared up. They're 15 days away from the red-white scrimmage taking place at the Devaney Center. We're going to have our Friday Five here in a couple of minutes. We're going to hear from Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink this hour, and we'll wrap things up with our winners and losers. Also a chance for you to be a part of the program on our Sports Sunday hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. 402-413-2400. The number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We're also streaming on our YouTube channel. There's a fun chat room in there. Anybody in there tonight?
Oh, yeah. All the regulars are in here. And I had a question about potential records that could be record watch going into the season.
First thing that comes to mind would be Adrian's climbing a lot of quarterback charts, total offense, total touchdowns, those type of things. So he, because he's the most experienced guy, would probably be it. Running backs are all new, so nobody's going to do anything there, and pretty much the wide receiver room is all new. So on offense, it's pretty much Adrian.
You think any freshman running back records could be broken? That was a comment that was made.
Maybe, although I think they'll spread the carries around so much. I don't know that somebody has a big year running the football. So.
And then another question was about a 1,000-yard receiver.
We've had a couple the last few years. Stanley Morgan was able to do that.
Do we have one this year?
I said this last hour, I think Samore will lead the team in receiving yards. 1,000? Possible. I think there's a possibility they could get there.
Yeah, it also, too, depends on the chemistry and where Adrian feels comfortable throwing the ball in certain situations. As some guys kind of develop that, that go-to, who they feel most comfortable throwing the ball to. So that will develop throughout the season as well.
Yeah.
And then one final one about Greg. Have you heard or watched how much more improved Cam Jurgens is at snapping this fall?
Yeah, the practices I've been at, I haven't seen any issues. I think he looks great. I think he's moving around really well. I stood next to Brendan Stye the other day at practice, and he was just raving about him. He says, my goodness, is this an athletic center? And you think about, for Husker fans, you think about the centers we've had the last decade. Great guys, but they were undersized. Cole Penzick and Mark Pellini, and there's a couple of them in there that Cam just towers over those guys. I think he's going to have a big year. Really do.
Yeah, and he just...
And I love his hat, too.
Yes, yeah. Beef jerky.
Beef jerky.
Yeah, I love that. That was an excellent branding strategy right there with beef jerky. And all the guys are repping it. I don't know if you saw it Media Day. A couple of them had on his shirt. Adrian, when he did the interview with me, had on the beef jerky shirt, so he's getting a lot of support. But yeah, I think he's also kind of maybe switched from being the young guy and being inexperienced in that role. He didn't play center before he got here, and it is not an easy spot to figure out how to do, snapping it, figuring out the offense, what's the defensive line, blocking, all that kind of stuff. You have to know so much at center, so he's figuring all that out. I think he's kind of maybe turned the tide, and again, he knows he's got to prove it out on the field, but he said that he kind of felt like the young guy, and now he does not feel like the young guy anymore. So
Greg Austin, the offensive line coach, was asked about where's his hat, and he goes, I'll wear it. He goes, I'm not paying for it. So he said, I'll put it on, but I told Cam I'm not buying it from you.
I wonder if Cam gives a discount for his teammates and coaches.
He might.
Maybe he'll give us a discount.
Well, let's jump into the Friday Five. You lead us off. What was one of your storylines of the week?
Well, I'm going to start with USA Volleyball in the Olympics. First of all, indoor volleyball swept Serbia last night, so they'll play for gold against Brazil. But the big kind of storyline here is Serbia was the team that beat USA in the semis in Rio that kept them out of the gold medal match a year ago, or 5 years ago. So USA has won 3 silvers, 2 bronzes, no gold. So, a chance to do something that has never been done before. Of course, the Huskers, former Huskers, have been huge. Justine Wong,
played great.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone was raving about her play. And Jordan Larson, man, she is just unbelievable. And we heard Cook talking last night about that she's playing better as she gets older, which is just unbelievable.
That's the reverse of what it ought to be, right? Your skills ought to diminish. It hasn't with her.
So big one coming up for them. And then also beach volleyball, the A team, April Ross and Alex Kleinman winning gold, 2-0 victory over Australia. April Ross becomes the first female beach athlete to win gold, silver, and bronze. But what was also cool about this is after the match, in their interview, they gave a big shout out to Tyler Hildebrand for helping them prepare for that match against Australia, because they had some problems with beating that Australia team. So they felt prepared and gave a big shout out to associate head volleyball coach Tyler Hildebrand, who's kind of the GM. He's the head coach of all the beach volleyball teams. And yeah, so that's awesome.
Fantastic. Good. Maybe it's going to be a sweep. Has it been? When's the last time we won the volleyball on the indoor side? Was it
never?
Never, right?
Never. They've never won a gold.
So this could be just, You can be the first to be the first.
Yeah.
That's awesome if that happens.
Yep, won bronze in the last Olympics and then won a couple, 3 silvers, but yeah, no gold.
The match is tomorrow night at 12:30. So take a nap, everybody, tomorrow. Then you can stay up late tomorrow night, and you can sleep in on Sunday morning to watch that. That'll be fun. Is it Brazil?
Brazil.
That'll be a battle.
Yeah.
That'll
But
be a
they're
battle.
playing so well, and even they've had some injuries that,
Right.
People have been in and out, but they've just really dominated some teams. I know they kind of struggled and had to bounce back and come back after jumping out to big 2-0 leads. I think it was 2 teams that happened to, that they had to come back and win in a 5th set. But the last 2 games that they've played, once they've gotten into the knockout rounds or whatever, they've looked fantastic, dominating.
All right, one of my storylines is just the first week of practice. Your impressions. What would be, in your eyes, kind of the headlines for the last 7 days?
I mean, I think just which we've talked so much about, but just the feel of this team, the confidence, how much they're liking even just themselves. They like this team.
Yep.
The players on this team, they like this team. They like their teammates. They like the direction that it's going. There's belief. But when I went out there, just, the size, the overall size, on the offensive line, the defensive line, the running backs, the tight ends are massive. And then Adrian, I think the comments that we've heard about Adrian leading up to the season, that he's in a different place, but then it's carried over into fall camp, and how he's looked incredible, and he's, throwing the ball well. And so I think that would be my 3 big takeaways.
I'm with you on Adrian. Sean Beckton, the tight ends coach, who just doesn't go out and throw compliments everywhere. He met with the media a couple of days ago, and he just said, he looks great. He's making all the throws. He's quick. He's doing all those things. He's confident out there. That goes a long ways. And I'm with you. And I know a lot of years you talk about chemistry, and it's not overrated. Chemistry is a big part about
massive.
how things happen. And I just sense that around this team, that they are all pulling in the same direction right now. And a loss can get you off that rails, and that's why that Illinois game is so big. But I think they can build on that if they can go get a couple of wins to start this year. So I'm with you. All the way. I just think that there's a nice calmness to this camp. They're getting the work in. It's going to be 3 or 4 more practices before we hear from them again. They're going to have a scrimmage. Maybe the vibes will be different when we talk to them next week. But right now, I think it's been a positive first week.
And I think after next week, we might start getting more questions answered. It seems to be, again, the messaging that, they kind of want to name starters. They want to get them in and name the ones. So we might start getting some of these questions answered after another week of practice.
I'm with you.
My turn?
Your turn.
NBA free agency was wild this week, right? So the Heat got better, the Pelicans got worse, the Lakers got older. LeBron James, 36, Carmelo Anthony, 37, Trevor Ariza, 36, average age of 31.4.
Is there a senior league in the NBA? Is there a senior loop?
Hey, LeBron put out a post on his Instagram about all the haters and just keep it coming, but I mean, we've seen a lot of these guys not be able to stay healthy. Marc Gasol's 36, and then Russell Westbrook. That actually was probably a good get for them, but he's probably getting to the point where he can't continue to play the way he plays the game of basketball. I don't know. Maybe he continues on, but he plays so hard all the time.
In my eyes, the Lakers did not get better.
Yeah,
they just got older.
I don't think they did.
They just got older.
I don't. And then how about some fat paychecks as well, including Steph Curry. He signed the largest annual salary in NBA history, 4-year, $215 million contract extension. Listen to this. So a year, the payout is $53.75 million. 1 day, $159 for 1 hour. It's $6,132, and for a minute, it's $102 a minute.
Oh my gosh!
Right? Isn't that unbelievable?
It's unbelievable. I saw Durant is going to do a 4-year, $198 extension with the Nets. It's money you can't fathom, and it's that league. I mean, my goodness, is that league wealthy right now? Crazy.
And Chris Paul, of course, staying with the Suns.
So in your eyes, who had the best week in the NBA?
It seems like all the consensus is that the Miami Heat were the winners in free
Jimmy Butler,
agency.
right?
Yeah, and they're young, and they had guys that they retained, and then they got a couple big gets. And they
were in the finals less than a year ago. That goofy season that ended last October, they were in the championship round.
And then Andre Iguodala is going back to finish out his career with the Warriors.
Good.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah.
They loved him there.
He's pretty pretty old,
Yeah,
too.
he's getting up there as well.
You know what
but-
he loves to do? He loves to golf.
Yeah.
Loves to golf. Shows up at a lot of the majors when he's not playing basketball. Loves to golf. All right, one of my big storylines, Spencer Schwellenbach, the former Husker, announced that he's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. Does that derail the career? What do you think? Does he still have a chance to come back from that?
I don't think so. Not for a guy like Spencer. He's got the right, head on his shoulders. And the Braves knew that there was issues and still drafted him. So they obviously still think that there's a lot of potential there as well. So, no, I think Spencer's a guy that will come back from it. And, hey, if you can't pitch again, you can always play him at shortstop.
Sure. He has the ability to bounce over and do that as well. Bob on our text line said, did he get hurt in the Arkansas series? And do you think that cost him going from the first to the second round? Absolutely, I did. I think Spencer said he was very upfront with the Braves about it, that his arm was sore and that he probably was going to need some kind of surgery. Didn't know if it was Tommy John. But I think the Braves probably kept him for the second round because of that, so it probably cost him a little bit of money. And I think his arm was sore most of the season. I think he just kind of pitched through that, and that's credit to him. He was all about the Huskers and the team, so God bless him for hanging in there and pitching through it.
Tommy John is not as big of a deal as it used to be. Kind of like ACL is
Correct.
not as big. You have to approach it the right way, and you have to attack your rehab, and you got to do everything right. But you can come back from it just as strong.
I agree, and maybe better. Some pitchers are
a
better.
lot of people. Yep.
All right, finish us off.
Final thing. How about Bryce McGowan's again broke Twitter with his 360 dunk, right? So, but I wanted to pull up these numbers that Open Doors tweeted out about just the reach that he had. So again, just in one day, he had over 338,000 impressions, and he reached an audience 43 times larger than his actual following. But yeah, the numbers on that 360 dunk were incredible. But again, shout out to the digital team. Alex and Nick do a great job of embracing things that a lot of people aren't in college athletics. So giving athletes a chance to, utilize some of this content, this video on their own social media platforms, but it still goes through Open Doors, so it still tracks and counts to the team pages. So the men's basketball team has been really, really popular on Twitter this summer.
They sure had. That was an amazing dunk that he had. I thought when you said broke Twitter, you were referring to the tweet that they put out, video of Doc Sadler trying to spin move and throw an alley-oop. That was so funny.
That was awesome. Doc is a character.
Oh, my goodness.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is crazy. Good stuff. That was our Friday Five. On our text line, since you brought up the sellout streak, what are you hearing about how close they are to selling out the stadium? I think they're confident that they're going to be able to do that. I've not heard anybody think that that's not going to happen. I know they've got that 3-game package going on. Fordham's not going to bring a lot of fans. I think there's a little nervousness, but that's the home opener. And I would think Husker fans, not having seen this team play a regular season game in 2 years, are going to flock for that game on September the 4th.
Husker Nation will come through. I mean, just because it's not there yet, it will by the time the season comes. And once hopefully, too, once we see a couple games and they are as good as advertised, then people will want to be lining up to get those tickets as well.
Absolutely. All right, there's our Friday Five. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink will be here. We'll talk about her summer, her team, recruiting again, and her thoughts about Simone Biles and what she witnessed from the Olympic Games. We're back with Heather next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, the 2021 athletic season marks the beginning of mobile tickets for Husker sporting events. Tickets and parking passes for all sports will be available for download in your ticket account on the official Huskers app. It's a safe and easy way to guarantee your entry into some of the most exciting sporting events around. Simply download your ticket from your ticket account or the Huskers app and save to your mobile phone wallet before you leave home. Scan at the gate and enjoy the game. Go Big Red! Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's Best Value Colleges. And the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Ford. Take advantage of our current offers and vast inventory selection with features you want at a smart price. Schedule a test drive today or shop online with our streamlined sales process. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in person or online at WoodhouseFord.com. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Ford in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
There is no better way to support your Huskers than becoming a season ticket holder. And a limited number of Nebraska football season tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat in Memorial Stadium for head coach Scott Frost's fourth season at the helm as the Huskers play host to Buffalo, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and more. Now is your chance to become part of the storied tradition that is Husker football. To purchase season tickets, call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Back here on Sports Island, delighted to be joined by Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink. Good to see you. How's summer been? It's gone fast, or how's it been?
It's been fast. I can't believe it's August. School starts in what, like 3 weeks? Like, it's just crazy to me how fast things have flown by. You know, it was nice to have summer camps. We got to be on the road recruiting. So, yeah, it's just booked up and away we're running.
What has your team been doing the last couple of months?
We've been in the gym. You know, they've been taking some time here and there. I would say they all pretty much took about a month to kind of recuperate when season was fully over. And then we were back in school, back in the gym, really just kind of getting motivated, working towards new goals for this next year, and really not taking for granted the opportunity to have the facility in the summer this year. And so it's been really nice. We've got 7 incoming freshmen. So they've been like gradually coming in. And so that's been kind of a blessing, obviously, to have them in addition to obviously all our returners.
What excites you about that group, that incoming 7?
Just add depth. I mean, I think one of the biggest things for last year, we didn't have a lot of depth in certain events. So really excited to be able to do that. I think when you create depth, it creates competition, and, you know, success breeds success. So it just really pushes the upper tier of our team to continue to improve and to, you know, step up their game. So I'm excited about that piece. Of course, I think they're all really great kids. I'm excited about them really kind of developing as a team. It'll be our largest team, as far as I know, that we've ever had at Nebraska for a women's gymnastics program. So really looking forward to see how that kind of puzzle pieces. We've had to be really intentional over the summer in creating some of those opportunities and conversations to building a team.
Your sport's so interesting because if you want to have some downtime, but you can't take too much off, right? Because your skills will diminish so quickly.
Yeah.
How do you balance that as a coach?
You know, I mean, I think right after season ends, it's a really good opportunity. They're mentally exhausted. They're physically exhausted. School is hard. They're ready to go home. It's a really good opportunity to kind of just sit back and kind of let them take their time. It's obviously good for us to take our time. But I think, you know, as you recruit and you kind of get to know your recruits, that's one of the things you hope to look for, right? Are people who continue to have goals, you know, not just in life, but in athletics. And they have to kind of be a little bit self-motivated during the summer period. And I think, you know, just continuing to have those conversations with them, what does that look like? What responsibility or accountability is on their end? And I think we're in a good place. I think last year being closed down from March until August, I think they really had a good opportunity this summer to just not take that for granted. And, you know, why sometimes it can be challenging to continue that self-motivation. I think they're able to look back and go, you know, I just don't want this to slip through my fingers. And of course, none of us were happy with how we finished last year. So I think we all want more for this season, and we're all motivated to kind of continue to build, obviously, the difficulty in which we're doing, but the consistency and, you know, the success.
Visiting with Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink here on Sports Island. You mentioned recruiting. The NCAA opened the gates back up June 1st. Have you and your staff been able to take advantage of that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for us, we have a dead period June 1st through the 15th, and they weren't willing, the NCAA wasn't willing to really kind of go back and negotiate that period. So we had to wait till the 16th. I was on the road, you know, traveling the 15th so I could be in a gym on the 16th. Our other coaches have been on the road. They're actually leaving this weekend. We're all three going to be, you know, kind of out doing some things. So it's been good. Obviously, it's been strange. I don't think travel is quite back to where it used to be. So there's, you know, some headaches and some hassles in that sense of things. But just being in the gyms, being around people, getting to know the recruits, watching them practice, having conversations with their coaches, it's just really important, and really kind of identifying who these people are and what you're actually recruiting. The 2022 class had zero. I mean, I was doing tours on Zoom and, you know, everything kind of remotely. So you've seen one side of it, and now you get, you know, kind of just take it one day at a time and just really kind of identify those people and really work to build relationships with them. I mean, to me, that's what it's about.
I was going to say, how about the being able to bring them on campus for visits now and show off your beautiful new facility that you're training in?
Yeah, that's been good. We had camp, so that was a huge opportunity. It was the first summer camp we've had in that facility. Obviously, the men are right next to us, and so they had camp kind of going on similar time frame. So it was a pretty cool environment to be in, as far as, you know, having these club kids come in, and really be able to remind our athletes how blessed they are to have this facility. And I don't think our athletes really take that for granted either, but I think sometimes, you know, you get used to day in and day out looking at the same thing. So it definitely has been a blessing to have that facility. Just the resources and the different surfaces that we can utilize to really try to keep our kids healthy is very important to us. And now utilizing those surfaces to train upgrades and continue to build the program. But so we've had campers on campus. We'll have our first visits here coming up in the fall. I think it's nice to do it during the summer, but to me, there's no fans like Nebraska, and to get the full-fledged student-athlete experience, I think to be here on campus when there's sporting events going on, and when there's a full campus, really give you a great idea of what it's like to be, you know, a student athlete here in Nebraska.
We're sitting here inside on the boundaries of Memorial Stadium. How big is a football weekend, even just to walk them out there at Memorial Stadium?
You know, I mean, one of the pieces we utilize within recruiting is just how blessed we are with our community. I mean, I'm born and raised here. I grew up around this entire environment, and to me, there's just nothing like it. Our assistant coach, most recent hire, came from Oregon State, and he came to the spring game, and that was the most fans he had ever seen at a football game ever. And I'm like, you just don't even have any idea what it's going to be like. So I think it's really a cool experience for recruits to be able to see our community supporting our student athletes, the environment, the adrenaline, just the team camaraderie that comes along with it. I think it's really neat. Or one of the things that I think Nebraska does very special is we treat all of our student athletes the same. And so they're able to see the football student athletes get to perform. Sometimes we'll do volleyball too, right? If they're having weekends at the same time. And they're able to see, that cross support. So it's not just, we're not just one sport program. And it's nice for our athletes to know that as gymnastics student athletes, we're treated the same as any other student athlete on campus. So I think that's really cool. Obviously, everybody's bringing in recruits. You got to, you kind of get a cross mingle or cross contaminate the different sports, and that's fun too.
We're wrapping up the Olympics, and obviously the cornerstone event of the Olympics is gymnastics, and in particular women's gymnastics. What was your reaction when maybe you woke up like I did and heard the news that Simone Biles was pulling herself out of the competition? What was your first thought?
I always try to stop and remove myself from making any prejudgments, right? Like, we just never know what somebody's going through. And of course, having been kind of in that environment, that elite world, there's some reality and some things that are out in media, and you got to kind of balance, somewhere in there is the actual truth. Of course, I was shocked. I was hurt for her. I was hurt for Team USA. And you just want people at the pinnacle of their game to be able to experience. I just can't even imagine going 4+1 years to train for this, and then at that one moment is when everything just kind of falls apart. And it was cool to see the other kids be able to step up. Watching Jordan Childs just kind of pump people up and let's go, and being thrown in a moment. I mean, these kids, elite athletes, to just be able to, without warming up or touching a piece of equipment, just get up and perform like they did. And so that was pretty cool to watch, and just the determination in the fight to not give up. I thought that was cool, and really for those athletes to rally around Simone.
We all heard the term twisties. I'm sure you're familiar with it. A lot of us have never heard that before. Yeah. Describe all that, and I'm sure maybe you experienced, or you've had athletes that have experienced that.
I personally can tell you that I haven't experienced the twisties, but I have experienced being lost in the air. And when you're flying through the air, you have no idea which is up, which is down, which is, when's the ground coming, what position am I in? It's extremely scary. Of course, in my time, and I can relate to my personal experiences, there were certain skills that I would get, lost on right away. I just can't imagine losing that in every single thing that you do, right? She does so many twists and so many flips, and it's not like you can just go, oh, I'm going to go easy and hope that I'm going to, you just don't do that. You go full bore. And so I'm sure, it's just panic, just fear of I got to be able to choose, do I want to walk away for my own purposes, and do I want to make sure that my teammates and my, fellow athletes that I've been training with are able to still medal. I mean, she could have gone on, you see all the things people are saying. She could have gone on, but what if she fell on every other event, and then ruined an opportunity for a medal? So I think she, at that moment, had to stop and be like, okay, I got to make what's in the best decision for my health, and for the success of USA. And I do know the fear, that genuine fear of, I don't know where I'm at. I'm in the air, gravity's taking over, I'm flipping, I'm twisting. Is my right side gonna hit? Is my head gonna hit? It can be scary. And gymnastics is, it can be life or death,
right,
in reality. And even when they don't have the twisties, and so every time we take a turn, these athletes are really, putting their hard work and everything kind of at risk. And hopefully the majority of them don't, really experience this. But I think at some point in every athlete's career or gymnast career, you experience that feeling of like, oh no, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at. And I think that's what makes it easy to relate to.
Can't even imagine. Coach, great to see you. Enjoy the last couple of weeks of summer, and the school year will be here, and you guys will be up and running again in the fall. Good to see you.
Yes, you as well. Appreciate your time.
There she is, Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink with us here on Sports Island. Time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back with our Friday Five. That's coming up next.
Shop Woodhouse Chevy Buick in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and experience the Woodhouse difference, where our sales staff is here, ready to help you find your perfect new car, truck, or SUV. And with over 100 new vehicles on our lot with more arriving daily, we're sure to have something for you. From the Buick Encore to our heavy-duty trucks, we have the best selection available. Find new roads and shop all of our inventory and offers at WoodhouseChevy.com or visit us at our dealership for a test drive today, making car buying easier. This is Woodhouse.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Husker fans, looking for a seat in Memorial Stadium? Custom 3-game mini plans are available now for only $195. Choose any combination of the 6 games available. Matchups available in the 3-game plan include the home opener versus Fordham, Buffalo, Northwestern, Michigan, Purdue, and Iowa. Don't miss this opportunity to join the greatest bands in college sports and help fill Memorial Stadium. To build your mini plan, visit Huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard inspiring speeches from notable Nebraskans, including legendary coach Tom Osborne.
We're back. Friday night sports Sunday here on the Husker Sports Network. It's got to be Friday because I teased the Friday 5, which we already did. So losing my mind, Jessica, losing my mind.
At least we know that the Field of Dreams game is Thursday, the 12th.
Yeah, it took a while to get to that, didn't it? So, last night, we started the show, and we have TVs on in the studio, and I was making fun of race walking in the Olympics. I found a thing that came up with the 10 oddest Olympic competitions in the history of the games.
Mm-hmm.
These are pretty good. They're in the 1984 and 1988 games, they had solo synchronized swimming. So just one person. Well, how do you synchronize? Who are you synchronizing with if it's one person?
It's like
right,
just
because
like
now they do it with a
water
team.
dancing.
What is that?
I don't know.
That was a part of 3 different Olympic games. That was pretty bad. They had, and this was back in the 40s, or right around the turn of the century, 1900, they had horse long jumping, where a horse would jump over like a pool of water, and they would mark it off where the horse landed. That didn't last. It only
that could hurt some people, hurt some horses. Yeah.
Yep. Then they had, it was called plunge for distance. I'm not making these up. These are real things.
Not real.
This was in the 1904 games in St. Louis, Missouri, and this is where competitors would dive into a pool and see how far they could drift underwater until they popped their head up. Some guy went 62 feet 5 inches and won the competition.
That is wild. Wow.
Number 7 on this list, and this is still going today, and it's the steeplechase. And that is an odd track and field where they jump over a hurdle and they land in the water.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But they do it today. These are real, folks. I'm telling you, these are real. In the 1900 games in Paris, a lot of these were in the Paris games, live pigeon shooting. They actually did, they tossed pigeons up and they shot them.
Oh, wow.
Lasted 1 games.
Someone said, you're synchronized with the music, Greg. Come on.
There you go. Probably right. By the end of the event on the pigeon shooting, they had 300 dead pigeons. Can you imagine that?
Oh, my.
Whoa.
What year was that?
1900 in
Okay,
Paris.
so PETA wasn't around then.
Got rid of it after that game.
Yeah.
The modern pentathlon. This is where you shoot, then you run, and then you shoot, and then they still do it today.
Yeah.
But people are like, that is just so bizarre.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. I mean, what are you doing? Are you out training for the Army? Or something?
I don't know. And it's like, how do you go about training for that? Like, you have to, I guess, divvy up your time between shooting and running.
In the 1912 Olympics, they had pistol dueling.
What?
Yes. They didn't use real bullets, though. So these brave men would fire at a mannequin dressed in coats. So they did it. That lasted 1 Olympics.
And was it like where they hit the bullets?
Where did you hit it? Did you hit them enough to kill them?
Oh,
so if you did,
wow.
you moved on to the next round.
Oh, my goodness.
These are real. 200-meter swimming obstacle race. This took place again in Paris in 1900. Swimmers had to climb up a pole and then clamber over a row of boats and swim under another row of boats, kind of like a TV show thing. They did do it for 1 Olympics Games. And number 2 in this is race walking. So it made the list of that thing. And then the last one, also in the Paris Olympics in 1900. It must have been a disastrous games. Poodle clipping.
Poodle clipping? What?
Where you clip the fur off of as many poodles in 2 hours.
Oh my! Does it have to look good? Like, does it have to be?
I think you have to. You have to cut them down to the bone, I think, or cut them down to the fur or the skin.
I didn't know if it was like, they have the pom-poms on their legs or something, or like if it was a certain haircut you had to do.
The winner got 17 poodles clipped in 2 hours.
Poodles are not cute without hair either.
No, bad.
It's funny to look at some of the quote tweets on the race walking, and it's like, the buffet is now open, or when they say there's snacks in the break room at work and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, people agree with you. Race walking is definitely trash, says Logan.
Is the chat room coming alive with that one right there?
And you're synchronized with the music, Greg. Come on. And yeah.
Solo synchronized swimming. Solo. Come on.
I don't know.
Crazy.
There's some wild sports still that are in it, and like the horses that are dancing to the music, which they've gone viral a lot, and it's awesome to watch. But it's how do you judge that?
I don't know.
Like if the horse is synchronized with the music, I don't know.
Poodle clipping. I can't believe it only lasted one Olympic Games. How did that
Maybe
not
we
come
should
back?
start a petition to bring that back.
Bring poodle clipping back. Moving forward.
I'll start training for it now and try to get it to the next Olympics. I buzz my dog. I just got some clippers.
Yeah, it cools them off during the summertime. Makes them cooler. They can
I used to, again, I showed sheep, so I had to shear sheep. So
sheep.
I could be good at this poodle
now, why
thing.
wouldn't that be? Instead of poodle, why wouldn't they shear sheep? How many sheep could you shear in 2 hours?
I don't know. That'd be
all right.
better, right? Because at least you could use the wool for stuff.
Yep. Pull that off and put that somewhere. Put it in a pillow or something. All right. You have any thoughts about that? 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. We're back to take some comments on all that, and we'll have our winners and losers of the week. That's next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska is one of the best schools in America for student Fulbright scholars. 2021 marks the 4th time that the university has been named a top producing institution by the Fulbright program. Of the 30 Huskers who applied this past year, 10 were offered the prestigious Fulbright. An additional 16 Huskers were named semifinalists.
Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. I guess I've stirred some people
I'm
up. Huh,
crying.
with
I'm
the
laughing so
Olympic
hard.
Games that are no longer part of the games.
Yes, Logan said I could be the Michael Phelps of poodle clipping. And Andy Harris said, wish they would come shoot the pigeons in my neighborhood. So, yeah.
Oh. Can you imagine that? Live pigeon shooting as
Yeah.
a competition? And apparently you got eliminated if you missed 2 in a row.
Oh, wow.
That's how you got eliminated, and they kept going until
Everybody
one guy was
had
left.
missed 2 in a row?
Yep.
Wow.
How about that?
Feel sorry for the pigeons that got caught for that one.
Ooh, boy.
Actually, I don't.
Anything else in there that I need to know about?
No, I think that's about it. That was hilarious.
All right, let's talk winners and losers for the week. What do you have?
Well, so I'll start with my loser, and it's Jason Garrett, but it's not really Jason Garrett. It's the New York media.
Garrett.
So it went viral yesterday, and he basically said he got done with the press conference. It's the first time he had met with the media in person, and he said, "Good to see you guys in person," and nobody answered, and he said, "Good to see you guys." And then he didn't get the response. He was just kind of giving them a little bit of a hard time, like, "Good to see you, coach." Like, hey, you should respond when I tell you good to see you. You say, "Good to see you, coach." And people took it as he was telling them to call him coach. And because they thought that he said good to see you, Jason. Or someone said maybe good to see you, Jason. And he said, good to see you, coach, or whatever. So it blew up on Twitter. It went viral. And yeah, it was totally overblown. But that is the New York media for you.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Jason Garrett woke up and was like, what is going on? Or looked at social media and like, what is going on?
How about that? I couldn't tell if he was kidding or not. I really couldn't.
He was saying because when he first said, good to see you, nobody responded.
So, okay.
And then someone had said, good to see you, Jason. And then he said, good to see you, coach. That's how you do it. And he was just basically but somebody had came to his defense and said, this is what it was about. But for a while, it was like all my Twitter feed was talking about how he was wanting to be called coach. Kind of like the Nick Saban, who was it?
Sanders.
Yeah, Deion Sanders. Yeah.
You wouldn't say that to Nick, and they all call him Nick.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin of the Steelers had some fun with that after the Hall of Fame game last night. Somebody said something about Coach Tomlin. He goes, call me Mike. So he had fun with that. How about your winner?
My winner is, which we got a call about this last night, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. Tamara Mensah-Stock. She was the first American black woman to win Olympic gold, the second woman overall, but she's going to use her prize money to buy her mom a food truck.
Fantastic.
So to make her mom's dream come true. But I told a little bit about the story last night. Her dad was tragically killed in a car accident when he was driving home from one of her matches when she was in high school. But when she won the gold, she was just overcome with emotion. And her interview, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's just fantastic. Won over a lot of hearts, but just so overcome with emotion for being able to win that gold medal. The first black woman to do so, obviously meant so much to her family. So
fantastic. Another cool thing in wrestling happened. Did you see Gable Stevenson, the wrestler from Minnesota? He's a Gopher. He was trailing late in his match. He ended up winning. He then did a backflip
yes.
while he was out there. And
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Neat thing. He could come back and wrestle for the Gophers one more year. He's got another year of eligibility. So we might see him in Big Ten wrestling moving on. He was like losing by 3 points with this like 30 seconds to go and got a takedown and something else and kind of snatched the victory out of that. That was really cool for him. That's not my winner, though. My winner is Abigail Napton, and I just have so much respect for her. We had it in the ticker earlier in the hour. She becomes Nebraska's 343rd academic All-American. She's just an amazing diver, almost made the Olympic team, both on the platform and the springboard. So happy for her, and she's going to be forever enshrined in Husker history, not only for the records that she set with her diving abilities, but now as an academic All-American.
And could potentially be diving in the next Olympics.
She could, absolutely.
It was close this year.
Absolutely. So, and it's only 3 years away now for the summer games, so she would be 25. So, absolutely, she has a great
her
chance.
list of what she's won academically is like, it would take us 2 hours this whole show to go through it.
It is huge. My loser, what is the deal with people getting in fights on planes right now? There's been like 3 episodes of that this week where these passengers have to be restrained. What is that? I don't get what. You get on a flight, you're going somewhere. Why are you upset about it? It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, the dude that had to be duct taped to his seat.
Yes, he got duct taped. That was one guy this week. There was another guy that it was a male flight attendant who was able to restrain him until some passengers helped hold the guy down a little bit. It's just, I don't get that. Why are you so mad? Get on a plane.
Why are we angry, people?
What the heck?
I don't know.
Brutal. Think about pigeon shooting. Those people ought to be upset. All right. I think we've done enough damage here tonight. Have a good weekend. We're going to go see some volleyball players tomorrow, right?
Yes. That'll be fun.
Be good. All right. That'll be it for the show tonight. Thanks to Jessica, to Mike, to Andrew, and all of you for listening. Enjoy one of your last summertime weekends. We're back with a full week next week and our show on Monday night. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams. Help! Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get